find out. You be having her on her head.
Listen, I'll be walking on eggshells. You just don't know. I'll be walking on eggshells. I want to do everything right. I don't want to make
She said, let me blow your mind.
Yes. I don't want to make a mistake.
Nah, you can't make a mistake.
Just let me do the talking. You be quiet. You be quiet. A re-re-wah.
A rewind. Let's see. Now let's see what happens. So I went live again.
We got a booyaka in the
You got
house.
let me know what you got
I was
going on.
supposed to stay on it.
Yeah. I just want to.
No, but I did.
It should change the screen.
No, it didn't change.
You didn't do anything yet.
Yes, I am. Look,
No, go to YouTube.
I am on YouTube. I never closed it.
And then
YouTube?
it'll take a second. Hold on.
Oh wait, I gotta go back.
Yeah, you got to refresh. Cause you seen the old stream. I put up a new stream.
What do I look for?
Yeah, we streaming because I'm seeing the viewers come in the room.
Streamer.
Oh yeah, we on.
All right, yeah, thank the
All the way
Lord.
up.
Okay.
When it's up. and
Cynthia
it's
says
up.
now we're good. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sin.
Cynthia.
Word up. So now we're good. All right, so we're back. Yeah, we was having some crazy internet stuff happen a little bit yesterday, but
It's always
I
sketchy.
rebooted. Yeah,
They be hating on G. No, they're not haters. We got plenty of fans at BGM.
Yes, we do. Lots of fans of BGM, and we love when you guys tune in. So what's going on? I mean, you got something new happening? What's happening? The room is crowded right now.
I know. We got Ronald Toppin from Adam's Houses over here.
Big shout out
So
to
we
Ronald.
got the Bronx.
Word. Oh,
We got every borough up in here except for the island.
Yeah, we're gonna have a
They
Bronx
get-
conversation too.
We got the BX in here.
Yeah, I
We
mean, I live in
have
Queens, but I'm from
Lizzie
the Bronx.
Rosemary Elizabeth.
What's up, Liz?
Almost Rockaway in the house.
Rockaway in the
Rockaway.
house.
Far away.
Yes, and of course, you got Spanish Harlem in here.
Absolutely, Spanish Harlem's in the house.
Yeah, El Barrio. Bang, sing, bang.
Yes, indeed.
But yeah, let's talk about our week. Our week has been very interesting.
Yeah, it has.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. I was inspector. I found a lost phone. Shout out to Maria.
Big
Can't
shout
be
to Maria Davis.
silenced.
Yeah,
Mondays
yeah.
at 5:00. Make sure y'all
That's
tune
right.
in, y'all.
Yeah.
That's my girl. She came and she helped out. I had a lot of visitors to the kitchen.
You had a lot of food this week, right?
Absolutely. I think we gave out like major food distribution every day this week, which is a big thing. Communities are in need, and we're making sure that we meet that need because we don't ever want to see anyone going hungry.
Right.
You understand? Because that is something I cannot do, is see somebody go hungry. But also, there's a lot going on inside and out of NYCHA. We have our lieutenant governor who was arrested, Mr. Brian Benjamin, for campaign fraud. All I'm going to say is that we're going to send out some prayers for him because we all know when the feds come, they got you.
Yeah.
They not building a story.
Yeah, they already got the story.
They already got you. So,
They've been on to you for a long time.
all of those who are down with him, y'all better get ready. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all better get ready because they coming for y'all too. I'm not dropping no names, but it's a lot of names out there that's been floating around in that fishbowl.
Yeah.
So, it's just sad to see that it's a brother who was so very influential in the Harlem community. East Harlem, Upper Harlem, Downtown Harlem. You understand? It's just sad.
And that's Maria's homeboy. Like, Maria was really upset about that.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that was my boy. He was the first one to give me one of my citations when he first came into office.
Wow.
So, I'm gonna support him. And me and a couple of buddies were talking. Yo, B, don't worry. I'm gonna keep your commissary fat if it comes down to that, and you will get some visits from me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real, like,
yeah.
because you need people at these times. This is when you need your friends. This is when you need your family. This is when you need the people that really care about you, and you find out who really cares about you.
Yes.
That's word.
So no matter what the story is, I don't really know what the story is, but I know is playing out in the media.
Right.
And you can't always trust the media, y'all.
That is true.
Okay? You gotta understand. I'm a person who can tell you that from personal experience. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, so we just gotta wait and see.
Who's up?
He claims his innocence, and we just gonna wait and see and let the story play
To
out.
accept, press 1. To send a
So at the
voicemail,
end of
press
the
2.
day,
Hello?
I got you. I definitely got you.
Hello?
babe. So, I think we had a caller. We had a fugazi.
No, I don't know what happened.
We don't know what happened. See,
Nah, you know what happens?
We gonna
Like
do the prank
people
calls.
hack. I had one
I told
guy.
you we got a lot of fans.
One guy, he came, he was barking one night. He just, I was like, what's up with that? I was like, oh, we got trolled.
We
I was
got
so
the
happy.
dogs in the house.
Yeah, I
Stop
love that.
playing. He wanted a wishbone.
Yeah, I love the trolls.
Stop playing.
You ain't nobody till you get trolled. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good thing.
Yeah, and then we got hacked on Maria Davis' show, which was
Absolutely.
awesome. The Russians hacked us.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were saying all kind
No,
of
but
racial
listen,
shit.
you talking about the Russians and Ukraine, right? Remember I was telling y'all that it's a lot of stuff going on. Do y'all know Ethiopia, Tehran has been in war for 18 months, and because it's not a nuclear war, we don't get no media about that.
Who?
Ethiopia.
And who?
Ethiopia is being attacked.
It's a civil.
Oh,
It's
really?
a civil
Okay.
war going on in Ethiopia.
I had no
Half
idea.
a million people have died.
Have no idea about that.
Exactly. So I'm going to do more research on that, and I'm going to be talking about that pretty soon. Because I told y'all, and the main thing that they're saying, that the world is still prejudiced, because Ethiopia, you got to understand, it's about to hit another famine like it did in 1985.
Wow.
Pretty
Okay.
soon they won't have no food, and that's going to affect millions
Of
of
people,
people. You understand? But because they are brown and colored, we don't hear about it. We don't cover it. So, that's something we definitely gonna look into. We got Mr. Toppin here. Mr. Toppin, what do you want to talk about today?
We're gonna put him on the camera. Hold on for 1 second. Let me put him on the camera.
Well,
We need to put him on because
let me first
and come a little closer to the mic, or move
Yes.
the mic closer to you.
Yes, let me first begin by saying.
Yeah, just pull it. Just pull
I've
it
been-
towards you.
but
That's
I've
fine.
been-
Pull it.
There you go. Yeah, that's
Let
all
me
right.
just first say that I'm
Hold
so
the mic.
glad to be invited here. I know Claudia and Rock has been doing these shows. They have on my nights. They have really been great and outstanding.
We are not one night.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. my gentle people.
Mi gente, my people.
My people.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Get it right.
And I'm very glad to be a
Blood
guest
fire.
here today and so forth. And so there are quite a lot of things going on in what's happening in the nature world. So I just wanted to be here to.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna cut you off, right? Because
Sure.
you trying to be
Sure.
slick here.
Okay.
Let me tell you about Mr. Toppin. Let me tell you about
They
Mr.
call me
Toppin.
in
Mr.
high
Toppin is fresh off the bus, fresh from taking the COVID test because he was around the mayor when he was up in Albany. I want to hear what was going on up in Albany.
Yes,
Yeah, I wanna hear that too.
Absolutely. And so
Come on, we need the dirt.
We can start with that. We had a labor luncheon on a Saturday up in the Black and Hispanic Caucus, which tickets were expensive. I was fortunate enough to get tickets.
How much were the tickets?
Some of the tickets may range from several hundreds of dollars. I've seen some for $600. I mean, these public officials and them should be helping us.
That's where the
with these
tax
tickets.
dollars are going.
And this is where these things that they're doing, and our residents are not benefiting from it, especially resident leaders who attend these things. They should have block rooms for us, and some of us didn't get block rooms. We had to get rooms and fight to get rooms for ourselves. Couldn't even take boards because we did not have the spacing to take them in time. This thing we applied for this several months ago. They canceled it, and then they went through something else, and we tried to get rooms, and everybody tell you the rooms are gone. How did that go on without asking us? Can we get rooms for our residents? We need to empower our people, and they try not to make that aware. There were buses that came up there in 7 days, but the question was asked: what happened when Mr. Mayor Eric Adams showed up at the luncheon? Our New York City mayor-elect. He showed up and came into a room which was already about 400, 500 people deep.
Nobody had mask on.
Not any hardly people in there had masks because they had
Shame
to
on
be
you.
vaccinated before they get in there.
Shame on
and
you.
have proved that they have a negative COVID test as well. So being that happened, Well, because can't get into the Capitol without it, or the $1 million steps either. Anyway, up in
they sidestepped because of the mayor, because he had it when he got up there.
Let me just be clear on this, and he can come after me if he want, but let's be realistic and let's talk about the facts. I don't like to say things unless they are facts. And the fact is, he walked in and I saw him with my own eyes with no mask on. He did not catch COVID there. He probably came with the COVID because he went to other people who attracted the COVID. Now, these are people that are vaccinated now. I just want to remind you. And he walked in there in a crowded room, and there was probably about 100 and some people still waiting to get inside with over 400 to 500 people in a room at round tables getting ready to have lunch.
So this was before he was diagnosed with COVID?
Before it was put out in the news. He might have been diagnosed earlier, I believe. Okay. So now here it goes. He goes over and walks through a crowd of people. He must have passed about 100 and some people on his way up to the stage because it was quite some distance. I said at least 150 feet. Thank God I took a COVID test and came out negative. Something said, you don't have to go over there. You've seen him enough. You don't need a picture. And I'm glad I didn't need a picture or need to go see him.
That's right. We need, as leaders, we need to stop taking pictures with these elected officials,
Absolutely.
these politicians, because even though they're elected, it's a lot of politicians over there. We need to stop taking pictures with them, especially when they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing for us, the right thing. So I just want to put that out there. And as you were out there, I heard through the grapevine that Hochul and made sure that they found some money to put into the budget for NYCHA where she had $0. What happened with that?
Absolutely, but let me close out with the mayor. He also went around Tish James, so now he was in her presence too. So I'm looking to see and hear in the news if Tiff James is going to get sick because he was right there with her. And the one thing she said that was so disgusting, and while she was speaking, and everybody needs to know this, and I'll say this if I have to go in front of her, you do not tell people that's waiting on a food line after you all have talked us for an hour and a half for us to eat at a luncheon and tell people to shut up that there's more fried chicken left.
Oh, no, she didn't.
Oh, no.
Word?
That's funny.
She did. You don't do that. I'm like, what? She is a public official.
Fried chicken? Really?
And she said that.
Why would they just had fried chicken?
They had more than fried chicken,
But she had to pick out the fried
that's
chicken.
waiting on a food line after you all have talked us for an hour.
That was the Negroid in her.
Yeah, it was.
I ain't gonna front, man. I'd have been like, yeah, give me the fried chicken. You know I love fried chicken. I don't give a
You
fuck.
and me both.
They had fried chicken baked. They had salmon. It had a pretty good menu. But for her to say that just so people could listen to her, she tells people to shut up. What happened to? Would you please lower your voices or be quiet? This is what happens in schools when the teachers tell the kids to be quiet. And, shut up. They're gonna tell you, no, you shut up.
Right.
How you like me now?
Yeah. Shut up. There's more fried chicken.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And I just want to ask because now we're treading somewhere here. What else was on the menu?
Well,
She said it.
they had salmon. They
She
had
could have been like, "Yo, shut up! There's more salmon."
They
had
had baked chicken. They had vegetables and rice. And, of course, lemonade water and stuff. So they had quite a bit of food, and they had 2 lines. The room was overbooked to begin with. There were people standing on the wall. There were people waiting to fight to get in. There were people walking in wanting to get back in. All of a sudden, the mayor gets an interest, and he walks through the middle, and like Moni does in the middle, and goes all the way up to Tish James. And just before that happens, she says, "You all shut up.
Wow.
There's more fried chicken left." Tish James, shame on you.
Wow.
And I had to say it so people know.
You let me know.
now.
We know what it is. There's more fried
It's
chicken.
so much disrespect that goes on. It just is. It's just to leadership. Period. You are not acknowledged. You're sidestepped because that's what I get from that. They overbooked. So it was standing room, not even standing room in there, and we're still going through a pandemic, y'all. But they wanted to sell those tickets because let me ask this question: do we know where that $600 per meal goes to?
That's a good question, Claudia, that you raised and asked, because I want to know, how do they fix their mind to even do that for public housing residents who work for free? how the hell do you do that to us?
Because they don't want you there.
They disrespect us, and it's just terrible in how they handle that.
That's why they put
So,
that money up there.
do you know how the money came about from Hoka? Because, listen, that $350 million, that's a teardrop to what is going to be needed.
How much you gave?
350 mil.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Do you know that a boiler, to fix a boiler, to get a boiler for NYCHA costs $500,000? And how many developments need boilers?
Well, I would say approximately 288 because the other ones went into the rat and pack.
Well, no, Washington does have new boilers. We're one of the few.
We know who did that.
Patterson has boilers too, but it's not operational all the
No,
time.
mine's
And
are
that's in the Bronx.
operational. I will
think we
say
have
that.
new boilers on Rockaway. They're
Oh, we
doing
got
some-
Rockaway in the house.
They're
Let me
doing some
hear Miss-
work over
Miss
here.
Lizzie want to say something here.
I think we have new boilers in Hamels.
Do they work? Oh, you in Hamel
I'm in
houses?
Hamel houses, yes.
Oh, stop playing.
No.
I know some of your people, some CVH peoples over there. Yeah.
Yes, our boilers
Voices heard. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the governor, this
Yeah,
is
let's
very,
go
this is
there.
very bad because she started out with $0 and we started making a lot of noise, and all of a sudden the monies that were given out was $220 billion for the entire state. We got a state with approximately 220 million people that cover the whole entire New York, and here we go with 220 billion. So the question was asked, how did you come to that number? What did you do with that number? She says, oh, I didn't do that. It was my lieutenant governor. It was Miss Cousins. It was Hastings.
Oh, so she blamed Brian and she blamed Andrea Cousins and who else?
And Hastings.
Oh, hey, Carl.
Yes. She
Mr.
blamed them
Hastings.
for putting together the budget. The only thing that came back out of that is that she signed off on
But
it.
wait a minute, she was able to give her hubby for the Buffalo Stadium, who only play 8 home games a year,
Yes.
in upstate New York. How much were they getting?
$1 billion
$800
stadium,
a
approximately more than $600 million to build the Buffalo Bills Stadium in the city of Buffalo that only is going to play 8 games a year. When the football season is over, they are done unless they make the playoff.
But you know what somebody brought up to me? We have to look at how much money the stadium's going to make and bring into the state. But at the same
And how
time,
much we're paying to get into these games.
no, but that's where the money that's going to come in.
So-
but
The
I think
the
the
admissions, but 8
elephant-
games is nothing.
So we
the elephant in the room is her husband is on the construction company
Let's
that is
talk about it.
building and remodeling the stadium.
Isn't that like a
800 million
conflict
for the
of interest type of thing?
It's a lot of conflict of interest because if that's the case, that's why they got my boy Brian.
Right.
So let's talk about that.
Yes.
Well, Cynthia says my development runs off forced steam, not boilers.
See?
And she said 600 million for the stadium is what they.
600
$600
million.
million.
Yeah, that's
Ronald,
crazy.
talk about that.
Yes.
In the space of 8 games per season, it's
give
gonna
some.
take at
Give it
least, let me see, 10 years or even more to make that money back.
No, they're gonna try to make it off of us. So they're gonna charge
Nah.
the high price tickets. A game
Yeah.
would never be played.
Right.
With the $10 sodas and the $18 hot dogs.
$25 beers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$25 beers.
And
That's probably-
$10 bottle of water.
Yes.
That's where they're gonna make that
And
money.
transportation and parking. Let's not forget
Oh,
that.
yes.
So they stand to make monies that really should be redirected.
And it's cold.
Yes.
Is it gonna be a closed stadium?
Well-
or are they gonna have a retractable wall? Because I know football, right?
I think they're going retractable on this one.
And
It's
most
gotta
of the stadiums are outdoors.
Yes.
And we all know that football season is during the coldest time of the year.
Yes.
And that's
Buffalo
why
gets a lot
Buffalo
of
Snow.
snow.
Yes, it does.
Out of those 8 games, they ain't gonna play much game if it's too much snow because people ain't gonna be able to get there.
people
Absolutely.
still go. Let me tell you something about football.
Transportation, you ain't gonna be able to get there.
When that's why they call fans, because they are fanatics.
Yes.
And I congratulate them because they be out there in the cold for hours. And you know, my colored skin can't take that much cold. I ain't built like that. I guess that's why ain't too much of us at them stadiums. For those
I'm not going to Buffalo to see the Bills play. I never.
I like the Bills, but I don't like them that damn.
Yeah, me either. I ain't going to Buffalo.
They used to even play in games with 10-degree temperatures, so you can imagine
Yeah, I don't
who
know.
wants to sit out there like doing that. I mean,
They can forget
you
that
know,
shit with
but,
me.
You know, but I'm looking at.
What about nature?
Yes,
That's
I'm looking
what
at. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Because there's
looking
things going on.
Yes, there really is, because I'm looking at how would you do that for that city? But you guess what? That's going to give her husband. They're going to make more money. So what I'm learning when I'm looking at these public officials, a lot of them are not helping NYCHA because they're investing in this real estate. The real estate board is a very wealthy organization, and what they do is they make deals. They cut backdoor deals that hurt us, and this is the reason why they cannot get NYCHA fixed or funded. There are a lot of money streams that come to New York. For example, the lottery. And one of the lotteries that pays so much into the New York City lottery should be earmarked to get a percentage. Who is buying that lottery? We as people of color.
Yes.
And we are the ones trying to get out of what we call the ghetto by getting a stroke of luck and being able to move on.
Right.
That money should come back to the communities from which it's already been taken from, and that money should be re-earmarked. It's supposed to be for schools. And
Look at our school systems. They're just as bad as NYCHA, though.
Absolutely.
That's
Look
what
at
I was going to say.
Look at our highways that they build. Why do they have those highways? Because they put blacks on one side of the highway and they put Caucasians on the
Gentrification.
other. And let me tell you, during the Great Migration, redlining is what HUD does, and this is a great migration coming from the South, where they bring all of us up to these large cities. People from Alabama went to Los Angeles. People from the Deep South went up to Chicago, Detroit, Virginia, South Carolina, went up to New York. And when they got these people here and they fell under government programs, they started the redlining. Anytime you take government money, you have to do as government says, and this is the reason why we have the problem that we have. It was okay when the Jews in them were in there. They funded it. The minute they got out is when they stopped defunding it during the Reagan administration and so on and so forth. So why not find that police money that they have and re-earmark that money for public housing? Why not go down to Battery City Park, take that $400 million that's already been allocated by our former Scott Stringer and get that damn money and get Mayor Adams to sign off on it and have that earmark and put it back in the niche. Now we nickeling and diming us, but we're going to get it the best we are because we are people that shall not be moved.
They don't care. We have to make them care.
Yes.
And that's another point that I'm bringing up. We need to start running for these positions.
Yes.
Because she just made I'm just thinking about where you from, Lizzie, right? Mm-hmm. You're from Hamel Houses. You were affected by Hurricane Sandy.
Yes.
You had FEMA money. Can you explain the conditions that's going on in the Rockaways? Let's go.
Well, currently in
You gotta
Hamels,
step up to the mic, baby.
currently we're under renovation, I guess. I don't know if it's Sandy recovery. I don't know what they call it. But currently what they're doing is replacing the bricks on the first floor, some of the windows because of Sandy. Anything else that's happening over there, honestly, I don't know about it because we don't know. I would say for my building,
How many buildings do you
14 buildings in our
floors?
development, 7 floors.
How many
Some of
apartments?
7, 6, some of 6, and some of 7. I don't remember the total number out of my head. But currently, one of the situations that's bothering me is in my particular building, the compactor, they turn off the electric because they're doing work. But before they did that, they never cleared out the garbage, right? So the compactor has been closed now, I would say, going on 4 weeks. And the maintenance person told me they cannot get in there to clean. So when I open my door, I'm on the second floor. The chute is right in front of my apartment. It's unbearable. And There's nothing that can be done because they're doing renovations. So I asked him
It can
yesterday.
be done.
I said, why didn't management made sure that all the garbage was removed before you close down whatever the generator, whatever you shut down to do the work? Why not make sure all the garbage is out? Now we're breathing in all of this, right? We don't know what type of health issues are going to arise from this. We don't know what type of health issues we're having based on the renovation that's going on in the building now. No one speaks to us about who is doing what at the development. You have strange people knocking on your door telling you they're coming in to check this and to check that. Me, no one comes in my apartment. I don't know who you are, so I'm not letting you in, right? Management don't communicate with us, or if they do, we don't know about it. So it's just... You walk around, you pay your rent, and you walk around, and you're looking at a place that looks like it's from, I don't know, the 15th centuries.
So I have a question. These renovations, are these rad renovations, or this is just NYCHA doing the renovations?
As far as I know, it's just NYCHA, because we're still owned by NYCHA.
Okay, so you're still
So
NYCHA.
what type of renovations are they claiming when they do enter your apartment?
The last time the person knocked on my door, he told me he needed to check something in the bathroom, but there was a language barrier. And so because there's a language barrier, you're not coming at...
Hold on.
I'm confused.
You gotta back that up.
You speak English very well.
I couldn't understand him. Or the
No, and I
the
get that.
three guys that was in the hallway.
What
Picture
was
me
your
as...
nationality? Indian,
I believe there
Bangladesh?
were... Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
But
they're
my
taking over
thing
that
is-
shit.
Like the vendors that they hire.
Vendors, so then you...
The vendors, right? So
So
my
now
thing is,
they
as a
hungry.
vendor, I'm a single woman with my daughter in my apartment. You're not coming in there. I don't care what NYCHA says. They tell us when you're having work done or when someone is entering your apartment, they're supposed to identify themselves with an ID or something like this. These people had no ID. They just says, oh, I'm coming to check your bathroom, something. I'm like, what are you checking in my bathroom? There's nothing wrong with my bathroom. I don't have a ticket in or anything. My boss says to come and check. Well, what did your boss tell you to
Who's
check?
your boss?
And who's your boss?
Right.
Wow.
So I was just like, no, I'm sorry, I can't help you today.
But wait. Listen.
I'm
You
back.
know, I'm like blown away. So they send somebody to check an apartment who doesn't have ID, and I don't blame the vendor because he's just trying to do a job.
Right.
Right.
You know, he was hired for, but it's obvious he doesn't speak good English because your
Correct.
English sounds very well to me.
Right. So if he's knocking on the door
Please mute your phone.
and then you have someone else who does not speak English at all,
Trying to tell you what they want to do in your
and you
apartment.
can't understand them, well, you don't understand me, I don't understand you, but you need to come into my space. No.
You're right. That's
Well,
that's a safe.
Because he's a stranger. He's a stranger, right? I mean, I could walk up and be like, hey, I got to inspect your bathroom.
You got a resident council?
I am.
You're under-
I am the vice president for the council. I just really newly got elected, and
So when was the election?
December of this year. Yeah, no, it's a battle.
So yeah,
You little poor child. You're like, bless your soul.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. I have
It's so
never
much I can say
seen.
about this, but I'm just trying to be like conformed.
I'm learning as
Because
we
baby
go
is
along.
kicking me like, Ma, get him. Get him.
That's why I hang out with Mr. Toppin, because then he's teaching me things that I don't know yet.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, and showing me the way. Like today, I went to his development to see, you know, how he works with his resident, the programs that he has, and he has a food pantry, and it was really cool. Like I volunteered there today, and it was really cool to see people in need coming down to get the food. And even after it was finished, they were still coming asking, am I too late? Is it finished? You know, so it's good. It's like if I don't know, then I will go where I know somebody else
Yeah, you
knows.
need more than food, boo boo.
Yeah.
We could get you the food.
Without a
More than
doubt.
food.
Well,
Because it's a lot going on. Because as a elected official, that's what you are.
yes.
That's right.
You have a right to go into management, okay, And
Don't
this
let them
is
tell
what
you can't. You could.
you have a right to go into management and ask what the hell is going on. You have a right to ask, where did this funding come from? What is this funding for? Also, you have a right to ask, who is the vendors? And how many vendors, how many people are hired from the community
None.
to work with this vendor?
None.
Not only that, just to know what the hell they're going into people's apartments for. Because at least you had the basic common sense to say no. All right? And I'm going to tell you what NYCHA does. When we have residents like yourself that say no, because, and rightfully so, you should. Because first and foremost, you cannot identify who this person is
Right.
coming into your house.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Secondly, you said there was a language barrier. Okay? It's so many things wrong with that. Third of all, shouldn't they have contacted you? NYCHA was supposed to contact you
Right.
before somebody comes and knock at your door.
Absolutely.
So again, this is a fault in management.
Well, the management, we have new management. I have not seen them
Bullshit.
physically.
Excuse me.
But she
Bull.
said,
Bull.
oh, there was a note. Note where, ma'am? There was no note on
It
doors.
shouldn't have been a note. They should have called the board and have you and filled you up and put you up to date.
See, I'm new
You
to
have
the
to
board,
have a
so
meeting with the residents, even
Yes.
discussing the work that's going to be done.
Talking to the mic, Ada.
Before they even send people out.
It is-
I gotta sit back
You
because
gotta talk to them.
it's mind-boggling that they're getting away with it because they know you're new board.
Exactly.
no, I am the only new person on the board.
So the other board,
The
is
other
not
board
informed of the-
members, they are informed somehow, some way. They just don't share it with me. That's what's happening over there.
Breakdown of communication.
But they were aware of what was going on. Were they informed of what's going on?
See, what has been happening in my particular development, which I find it to be a problem, right? Because if we're all leaders, we're all elected by our residents to serve. So that means that each and every one of us has equal rights, right? Yeah. And in order for business to conduct, we all have to know what's going on. So if someone is missing, the rest of the body could fill in. There is no gap. In my particular development, what I am getting is no transparency. They don't share information with me, and only because I am trying to have things done the way it's supposed to, right? So the rules are, if you go by the bylaws, the president is there, the vice president, which I am, the secretary, the treasurer, and the sergeant of arms. If the president is unavailable, then the vice president steps in to fill in that role and share the information back to the president whenever that person becomes available. That doesn't happen. What happens is, when the president is not available, it goes to the secretary or maybe the sergeant of arms if she feels like it. Nothing is shared with me.
There's a reason why there's a vice in front of that president.
Oh, so they don't respect the bylaw. So me coming on board is telling them, hey, listen, the way things are supposed to be done, we have to honor the bylaws. There is a system in place for you to function in order for us to not have conflict, right?
Might I ask this, and I'm just going to interject.
I just want to say something.
Are
Big shout out to my man Big B. Thank you for tuning in,
Are
Big
you
B.
one of those members that just came in and roughed up the whole house? Because
Probably.
we do have
Yes.
some board members who are elected, and they come in and they like to tell you what you should and what you're going to do, and you could already have a function that's going on, and instead of observing what's going on and seeing where the need is, could it be that you're just going off the top, like
No.
off the rip?
No.
That's what I'm trying to understand. And then we also have board members who take it upon themselves to act as though they were presidents because they previously held that title, and they become very belligerent when you do speak to them or you try to involve them. It becomes a me, I situation. So I could see what you're saying, and I totally get it, and it should be that way. But when you have, and this is why it's also, you need to have conflict resolution.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But when because I'm going to just call it like I call it. I have a member who was previously president, And now she's on the board and she just goes roughshod on me. But the thing is, I also know she has mental health issues.
Okay.
So
Oh,
that's
she's a little
like
nutty.
a totally whole different category. I wouldn't say that, but you know, it
this is
just shows
me.
that I wouldn't say that she doesn't care. It's just the way she goes about doing things, and she doesn't respect the authority that is there. Now, if I was a lame duck president, I can understand someone's coming in and saying, well, this has to be done. But
Right.
no. I'm not one of those people. And if you have it's 7 of us on our board, right? And you got 6 board members who all get along with each other. We all transfer information and we all work together cohesively. And you have this one person who is the oddball. And everyone chooses not to deal with that person because of their behavior. Because I could say a lot of things about this person, but I choose not to because repeatedly that person goes on the attack. It goes on the attack. And you don't know where it's coming from, when it's going to come, because you might get ice cream one day, the next day you get the bully beater upper.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
She might have diabetes or something.
No, see, my
Sound like a sugar
situation
drop.
is a little different. Yes, I am me, right? So
No, I got you.
I'm a strong personality, which I've been trying to work on for years. But regardless of the fact, I came in, so I am not, what's it called? I'm not new to being on boards, right? I was the policy council member with ACS going on 4 years, but I volunteered in that entity for over 10 years, right? I was also the governing board chairperson for Head Start program. We had over around 30-something employees, 111 children, $2 million in fund. And I was the head for that. So my thing is, I was trained to follow protocol, right? And if I see that I'm coming into an organization that has no structure, this is what's happening. We have no structure, right? I get the bylaws are outdated. So the last time the bylaws was reviewed is 2012. We're in 2022.
and that's most
Half the
boards.
people that's on the bylaws are dead and gone.
That's
that signs
most
off on that,
bylaws.
right?
That's
Damn.
most, no, that's,
In the bylaws, there's a section in the bylaws where we were charging residents a fee to be on the board. That's illegal, first of all, because you're getting
To be a
federal dollars.
membership.
So that should have been removed, but that's still sitting there. Even though we're not using it, it's still there. So
You can charge a fee.
not based on
Listen
the.
to what I'm saying.
Okay.
Listen to what I'm saying. When the councils do outreach or anything, every single legal resident on the lease qualifies to be in any activity.
Right.
That charge is for fundraising.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's see, now you understand.
Yeah,
right? It's
no,
different.
fundraising,
See,
yes.
that charge is for fundraising. But to say because you're not a member, you get what I'm saying? You can't do A, B, C, and D. You can't do that.
Right. So that's what's happening.
But you
Restricted.
can have certain things. You can have certain things, and that's why it becomes tricky with the membership, and that's why I just canceled it out altogether.
Right.
And just said do away
Because
with it, right?
it's still in my bylaws, but we don't adhere to it. It's a lot of things in the bylaws that we still don't adhere to because it just doesn't resonate with today's time.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And when it comes
Like
to
the bylaws, they're not
rewriting your bylaws, NYCHA makes it so difficult. You get what I'm saying? They make it so difficult, the process for you. And even when you do get the vote on it and everything else, and you send it to legal, it takes them months
For it
to
to come
approve
back.
it. And then sometimes it isn't approved, and they say, well, no, we don't accept this, we don't accept that, we don't accept that, back to the drawing board.
Restart.
It's a
Restart.
restart.
That's what it's
So a
about.
lot of us just be like, you know what? Instead of a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you what happens. By the time it comes back, your term is over. So then you have a new board that's coming in.
Right.
So I'm just gonna put it like that.
Yes, it is.
No. So my thing to you is right. I would go to my board because you're very sane and you're very sensible and you're very intelligent. I can say that from sitting here and talking to you, right? go to your board, and I would ask. You get what I'm saying? I would put that olive branch forward because I know how you feel. And what I need to explain to you also, the functioning of NYCHA, we are totally different beasts. Because like you, I've been on plenty of other boards. I've been on my school boards. I'm on DYCD board. I'm on this board, that board.
Community
and
board.
Nothing runs like a NYCHA board.
No, I know. It's just
And-
that I was saying, I know it does, and I know it's different entity,
different
but
beast.
the what's that called? The body, right? The body has a president, a vice president,
Right.
treasurer, and a secretary. All of these
That's
government,
structure.
federal funding boards
Yes.
all have that. They all need to have that in order for them to spend
Exactly.
federal dollars properly. And you supposed to be recording your minutes, and your minutes supposed to match your your motions and your votes and how you spend the money.
Robert
right?
Rules of Order is
Robert
what it's
Rules
called.
of Orders.
Yeah, there you
If the
go.
bylaws is not working, I get that. My issue though is still I am the newest person on the board, the only person on the board. So that is new. So if I come in, I'm new, and you're not sharing information with me as is already. We're in what? We're in April.
Yes.
That's the 4th month.
We still have not met with management. I don't know who does what. I don't know
Wow.
what they look like. And
Y'all don't have a monthly meeting with the
they
board.
do, but it's not shared with me is what I'm saying.
So when they do the monthly meeting, they don't tell you time, place, or anything.
They'll tell me that, so the last few meetings that I've been advocating for Zoom because of COVID and because of the renovations that's going on, I said, hey, we need to have Zoom. Zoom gives more resident a chance to attend these meetings. Then I will get to what about the people who don't have computer? Everybody have a phone. Everybody knows to get on YouTube. Everybody knows
No,
to
I'm
get
talking
on
about a meeting
Facebook.
with just the board, the 5 or 6 or
Do you
whatever.
have executive board meetings?
We have had executive board meetings, and let's just say we just have one successful one.
Out of
I don't want you on here beating up your board.
No, I'm not beating them up. No, no, definitely not.
like, girl, you
Definitely
still gotta
not.
go back
But
home, girl. Just saying, you know.
Work with them.
The thing is, right, if we're talking about, we're already, as NYCHA resident, fighting the system itself to get funding, to get repairs, to get all the stuff we need done. So now, if we're going to be divided as a board, fighting or stopping someone from
NYCHA
doing
loves that.
Yes.
doing the work.
Yeah.
But
NYCHA
see,
loves
but that's
that.
the thing though. Like me personally, if I sign my name to something, then I'm doing it to the best of my abilities, right? Because I don't have to do this. I don't have to volunteer
Right.
at all. I have enough on my plate. But I see that there's a need. And I joined it as a resident because I was not happy with what they were doing prior to me getting on board.
Right.
That's what made me got involved. So I'm like, I cannot live
That's what it
someplace.
is.
Right.
My advice to you, start creating your committees.
Yes, I am responsible
Start
right now for the
creating-
bylaws committees and all the other committees,
Start
so which is I'm gonna
creating
do.
your
Yeah.
committees. When you start creating your committees,
Mm-hmm.
that then you are doing your job.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And you don't have to be on the resident board to ask these same questions that you're asking from your management. See, that is a misconception.
Management don't answer questions. You go into management, you ask them, okay, just prior to me learning from the maintenance person what was happening with the garbage, it was piled up and running over. So I went into management from the weekend. It was not cleaned out on the weekend. So the Monday I went to management and said, hey, the garbage is piled up and it smells. What can I do? She said, did you put in a ticket? And I'm like, a ticket?
Yeah.
Isn't that a part of
No.
maintenance job?
No.
She said, no. I said, okay, no problem. She said she will call maintenance, let them know. So I went back the following day now. I put in a ticket. And I went back and I said, hey, yesterday I came twice. Nothing was done. Here I am today with the ticket. This is what's happening. Management still did not say to me, this is the issue, that's what's going on as to why the garbage is like
Did
that.
you include your president on that?
My president don't. Anyway. So I
But
have to.
no
I
communication.
went
It's
to.
not gonna work unless they
Yes.
So I spoke to.
That's what we're going to be working on. I tell you.
I spoke to the maintenance guy because I figured, if I speak to them, they could tell me what's going on because
Right.
that is
Can I
their
tell you
job. So
something
this is
real
how
in a
I get.
nutshell, as a president, I'm gonna tell you that you're talking to the wrong people.
But there's nobody.
Say that
else for me
loudly.
to talk
Sorry.
to.
You're talking to the wrong people.
Well, who am I gonna talk to?
First of all, when management don't talk to you, you're supposed to go above their head.
Right.
Okay.
You go over them.
You know how everybody
Go ahead,
has
project
a boss.
Claudia because you're
And
off mic. Go ahead.
Everybody has a boss,
Uh-huh.
right? So you start contacting their bosses, and you take. Let me tell you, you.
Oh,
can
I
do
did.
the
I
most
got into
simplest
trouble
thing.
for it.
You do the simplest. So what? You can never get into trouble.
No, you can't get in
You
trouble.
can't.
I called somebody because of, I won't say it on air, but I called for other reasons, and pretty much I get called out in meetings, but they won't say my name, but that person knows that they're talking to me, and I know she's talking to me.
Okay.
And, because I don't want to create a scene, I'll be quiet. I don't have a problem being quiet. See, I'm a silent mover. Eventually, I'm going to get what I want.
Silence.
Silent. I'm moving
love that.
I
silent.
love that. That
We're
is
gonna talk
terrific.
more about this.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I see a lot of ways you can get help, but I'm gonna just say this:
We should invite
try
her over.
and work with your boy.
Yes.
No, that's the thing. I really, really want to work with my board. So what I have done now, because of the conflict, I said, you know what? Whenever there's an event in the development, let me know. I'll come out and volunteer. If you need to put up flyers, I'm not going into the office. So when you print them, I'll meet you somewhere and get it. I'll do my distribution. When we have the
But
senior,
that's not your job.
well, that's what we
You got
do.
a secretary, right?
Right. You got secretary and other people that.
No, but I don't mind. No, I don't
I know
mind
you don't
helping.
You don't mind chipping in.
I
Right,
know
I
you
don't.
don't mind,
Because we're all ladies, and that's
but
why.
at the same time,
Right.
they're not
Probably
including
need
you.
some guys on that board.
Do your job. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Do your job.
Cynthia
Start doing-
said, that's what I keep trying to tell people. Learn who the higher ups are in night shift.
Right.
And
it's
Cynthia's a
easy
que-
to
is a
find
queen
out
of that
who it
shit.
is,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
always first name, last name, .nyc, blah, 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 gov. And if you go on the NYCHA website, you will have a whole map
Right.
of who's who.
Okay.
It's a table. So you'll know, and even if you call their regular basic number, call and ask for that person. And when you speak to that person, don't tell them all your gripes right away.
Right.
Say, can I have your email? And you include this one.
Got
Even
you.
your elected officials, you put them on your email.
That's hey.
Okay, so we're gonna talk more about
You gotta
that.
help
Yes,
them.
yes.
I do feel where you're coming from, and a lot of this does happen within NYCHA because that's why you have these outside organizations who come in and they want to organize, and then they run into conflict with the resident councils, and then the resident councils have conflicts with their own board members because this is what NYCHA wants.
NYCHA loves that.
NYCHA pays most of these outside organizations to come into your community
And disrupt it.
and disrupt it.
Yeah, which is something I was just, to me, even when I found out that we don't have, no, I get it. And I learned when I went up to Albany
You're gonna
that
learn a
I'm
lot.
not the only one.
Yes.
But we don't have a community center. How do you lose your community center?
Oh, I could have told you that because I know about Hamel House.
Oh, my God.
Talk to Claudia about that. We can tell you that.
So I'm gonna do
I
is
know a lot of your stuff.
I wanna get
But
to
we
those.
I'm
wanna-
gonna break for a hot second because I know we're gonna change gears.
Yeah.
And then we'll figure out what we're gonna do. And
Yeah,
give me a
Lizzie,
sec
we gonna
here.
definitely,
Is the first edition of Failed Attack.
We're gonna have to.
This guy was the shoe bomber from 2001. He was sweating so much in his shoe that the perspiration wouldn't allow him to light the fuse on the airplane. So the passengers, you know what they did? They fucked him up. This motherfucker had one job: failed attack. This next guy, I think he thought he had a better idea. Umar Farouk, or Farouk Umar, right? So in 2009 of Christmas, he boards a plane. He goes, you know what? The shoe guy didn't work out. So I'm going to do the underwear bomber, right? So I don't understand what he's doing with this thing. So he has this thing stitched into his underwear, into his crotch, right? He has the device in, and he has to take a syringe and plug it into and push it into the device to create this chemical reaction so then that he could be the Christmas bomber, right? Because he's done it on December 25th, 2009. However, this brilliant specimen of intelligence can't get this syringe into the device so that he could, detonate the device. That was kind of the whole idea. So instead, well, he gets it kind of half in, and then he burns his leg, and his crotch starts popping with flames coming out of it. So the only thing he did was he burnt himself and he burnt his crotch. I gotta tell you something. I don't give a fuck. I would never put an explosive device near my dick. It just doesn't make any sense. So you know what the passengers did? They fucked him up. They stripped him naked on the plane. They disgraced the man, and this was another failed attack.
And we are back.
We're going to give y'all updates.
We
I don't
are
know
back.
if y'all know about what's going on in NYCHA. You know, we have a continuation because back about 2 years ago, we were talking about sex parties that was happening between the workers.
Frogs neck houses.
Back up, Ava, my head.
There you go.
They were having sex parties.
Where was
up
this
in the
happening?
Bronx.
Frogs neck.
Frogs neck houses.
Empty apartments. That were doing them.
Richie Torres.
People were paying for it. People were paying to go into the empty apartments and have sex parties.
And drink alcohol.
No,
yeah,
workers were there after hours, during hours, drinking and having sex parties.
And getting overtime pay for having parties.
Yep. Yes, they were.
Yes.
Were they supposed to be fixing the apartment? I mean, what was the rules?
They was fixing each other.
They was fixing all these rooms.
I wonder what the rules was on that.
So recently in the paper, we have a NYCHA worker who actually was pleasuring himself in front of the camera.
So he's beating off.
Yes, he was. Ronald. I'm going to let Ronald take that.
You know Ronald, because this is Ronald's story.
Wow.
You know Ronald.
Listen, I know y'all coming after me, but I got my Ephesians equipment on. So let me just tell you what's been happening in the buzz with the New York City, the city paper. It says NYCHA administrator suspended after apparently sex acts on video conference. This was supposed to be a superintendent who works several developments. First name Alex, and he works other developments. He made about $129,000 last year, and he was actually supposed to be at work when he clocked in. Instead, when it was time to do the NYCHA meeting of the week, happened on a Wednesday. He turns on the NYCHA camera, and he was caught in bed. And instead of being at work. So I don't know if they pay him to lay in the bed. I don't know what he could have been doing in the bed, but you all can figure this one out.
He was pleasuring himself.
Yes,
Tell the truth.
He was enjoying himself.
Yes, and had a lady also there who got up, who she was also exposed. And the NYCHA workers that saw this on the Zoom says, "Oh my God!" You know when we text that stuff. OMG.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what was going on with that sort of thing.
His ass is crazy.
Yes. But they're only going to suspend him. So those of you that really want to read the story and get more depth with it, you just go to the city paper. And it was supposed to be a weekly routine conference for city housing authority bureaucrats to update managers on how we are doing in public housing developments across the 5 boroughs. But instead, in one particular Bronx neighborhood, administrator Alex, with the last name with a T, ... appeared in a Microsoft Team window naked and next to a woman.
Wow.
Okay.
So he had company on one hour.
Yes.
Was she a worker?
Yeah, he wasn't doing
She
it
was
in
a
the
worker
park.
too?
He was doing it in the park. He was doing it in the daytime at work hours with a worker.
Oh, scandal.
Yes. So now
I love scandal.
So now you don't have to get what is that? Aretha Franklin who did that? God bless the dead. Who's zooming who? We zoomed in and saw who was zooming who.
That's very
Because
nice. I love that.
That's what was going on. So the woman's face appeared in the frame, and another participant shouted out, "OMG." Okay. So meanwhile, there is a video. It's on YouTube. It's blurred. But you can actually
listen. This is a PG show. Save that for the next quarter.
Ooh, yeah. When we do the
Sexy,
You know what?
Sex and NYCHA.
Shout out to mi gente, my people. Today is our 1-year anniversary.
Yes, it is. Wow.
Yes.
I can't believe you've been doing this for a year. That's crazy.
Absolutely. And y'all get a lot of
Congratulations.
stuff from me, guys. That much I will say.
Yeah.
You
Well,
I'm
got
happy to be here on your anniversary, my first
Thank
visit.
you.
Oh.
It's glad to have you, and we got a newbie, sort of like a virgin here.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was gonna say something in the next show.
A child was born.
Yeah, we broke her in.
Yes,
Yes.
Listen, we got a newbie here, and I love she's coming with some of the issues that most of you have and most of you talk about. So we're gonna sit here and we're gonna, we are talking about solutions to it. And we do know tomorrow is Easter Sunday. So let's talk about last week's Sunday, Palm Sunday.
Oh yeah, how'd it go now?
Mr. Top is going to take it over right now. What happened on Palm Sunday?
Wow.
Back to you, Ron.
Yes. Well, here we go. We're up in Albany. They had a civic center.
Exactly, the Albany. See, the Albany, like, I'm
Yeah,
going to
we'll talk about
interrupt
this.
real quickly.
Yeah, 'cause I
Remember,
love
I
this.
went to Puerto Rico, right? And I told y'all how that was.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And it was kind of tame.
Yes.
But I didn't give all the juicy juice like Ronald's about to do. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Apparently, more happens in Albany because during this time, because this is caucus.
Yes.
Caucus is the time of year when all the elected officials are up there and they're talking to each other and they're making deals.
Yes.
And the deals that are being made should be about the communities in which they represent and what they're going to do to make the communities better, how they're going to make their communities more prosperous, equitable, and cohabitable.
Yes.
But on the other hand, we're having $600 dinners. We're telling people to shut up. There's still fried chicken left. We're having COVID scares.
Oh, please. I wanna hear this from
You
Ronald.
understand? So, Ronald, you take it away.
Oh my goodness. Well, Claudia, I don't know if she has the brain of an elephant, but she sure remembers everything. So let me just take it away. First of all, the people who know the story of Jesus going through Jerusalem, they were throwing palms at their feet during Palm Sunday.
Yes.
That's what it represents. We were in church, so I got my little good attire going. Everybody's going in. So you have people like Vanessa Gibson, who was there. You had people like Al Taylor, who's an assembly person.
We call him Socks. Let me
Yes.
tell you something about Al Taylor.
Yes, he wears
the
those
brother is short, but he
Yes.
always got them socks.
And them
boy.
bow ties.
The socks and the bow ties are to kill for.
Yes.
He's always short, and he
Yes.
has the most beautifulest wife. God
Yes,
bless
he
him.
does. I've seen
God
her,
bless
and
him.
she is a very sweet-looking person and a very nice person. And he also wears his bow ties. So he's also a minister, by the way, if you didn't know. So he has a church somewhere in Harlem, I believe it is. And he also was up
On the
there.
west side, by
And he led the service, and we had some great singers. And one of our singers that was there that were present was a Mr. Wright's son.
Ronald, you do some preaching too.
Yeah, well, listen.
You better stop.
Listen.
Trying to
We'll
be
talk
humble.
about that.
Barack is a preacher too, y'all.
Yeah, yes, amen to that.
We got two preachers
We got
in
the
here.
gospel in the house.
Open house, baby.
Yeah.
I let him know, baby. I let him know.
So anyway, we're in service, and Al Taylor is in there. We had the very beautiful vocal group that was up there. I wanted to get up there and sing myself, And so the Wright brother was playing the keyboard. So here it goes is that they were talking about this politician praising that politician, praising that politician. So I'm saying to myself, well, we're in church. We did this all weekend. Now, this is Palm Sunday. When are they going to talk about Jesus and the donkey? I said, don't that be a part of this story here? And here it goes. They started singing it, and all of a sudden, my partner that was sitting next to me, she got up and she said, we are elected officials too. What about resident councils?
Who said that?
One of our presidents who got up and says, I'm tired of this politics. We are elected officials too. And she was a TA president.
Absolutely.
So
yes. Can I get an amen to that?
Amen.
Let me tell you, it takes a lot
Yes.
to put ourselves out there for y'all to vote for us in anything. And any president that put themselves in they hat in the ring and they put themselves out there to be vulnerable, I hand it to you.
Yes.
Go ahead, Rob.
So it was very, very good to
They get the magic dust.
Here
Oh,
are they.
magic dust.
But Al Taylor, he had to get up and says, I know. He said, I know who you are, and we know who you are. Well, listen, when is Jesus going to come in with the donkey?
Damn.
However,
You wanted to ask.
I love
yes,
it.
I just want to ask because that should be a part of the biblical text story. And if you don't know if you're going to preach that. So finally, Al Taylor stepped off, and then we had the great Dr. Benjamin Chavis, who used to be with Dr. King, and that was one of the most wonderful things about Palm Sunday service in Albany with the public officials as we're going church. The one thing that was very distracting and annoyed is that Andrea Cousins got up. She says, well, and I gave money to housing. When did that happen? Well, it's affordable housing. Well, that's not NYCHA. So, I mean, that was not very good at all. This is what she said.
She gave money to housing. We need to investigate where her money went.
Right. Not only
She said
that,
affordable.
not only that, she said it in church behind the pulpit. Yikes.
I'm going to hit the phone right
So
now.
this is what happened there.
I'm sure there was a lightning bolt.
This is not me making a story. This is me telling a story in person, live in living color. So that's what happened. I still want to know, when did that happen? So now, Andrea Cousins, you were put out there because I was right there. And we all saw it, and other resident leaders as well from New York City that saw it. So finally, Benjamin Chavis gets up. He talks about his days at Wilmington, North Carolina, and all the things that he did in his life. And then the service started going into Jesus' story of throwing palms, waving palms at their feet. And then a few days later, all things just went the opposite. So it was great one moment, and then it all went bad. And you all know the story. He was put into an empty tomb, and he risen. And it's why Easter Sunday is called Resurrection Sunday. And I don't understand why so many people are walking around with a cross. Jesus is not longer on the cross. He's been alive, sitting at the right hand of God the Father, and he has risen. He has defeated death. So you all want to wear your crosses as a symbol? That's when they pierced him at his side and put crowns in there. Jesus is not there. You want Jesus, then you treat your people right. You want Jesus, then you feed my sheep. You want Jesus, then you love one another unconditionally and agape. Okay, this is how you know a person that loves Jesus. They don't have to wear a symbol. They just have to love one another. And that's how Jesus was. If you want to be a disciple of Jesus, he only stayed with them for 3 years. He lived to be 33 years. He walked on water, walked through the dusty streets of Palestine with no sandals on his feet. We had washing your feet. Thursday, they fed you the Last Supper. They had a menu for that. And if you really want to know Jesus, he turned BC and AC, broke history from AD to BC. So that's the person that knows Jesus. She wanted a little preachiness. I just said I'll stop there. Thank you, Claudia.
That's why I love the internet. So Majority Leader Stuart Cousins applauds $43 million New York State award to Yonkers Hudson Hill Affordable Housing Project. That's where her money went. And this article here is from January 26th of this year. So that's the money she probably was talking about. As part of the state's commitment to create or preserve over 3,000 units of affordable, sustainable, and supportive housing units, West Hab Incorporation's Hudson Hill Affordable Housing Project in downtown Yonkers has been awarded $43 million to replace a dilapidated building on Locust Avenue with a new 6-story all-electric building featuring 113 apartments. So that means, wait. Because this is kind of like disturbing too. You're supposed to preserve 3,000, but you building a new building with only 113 apartments. Now, this is what we talk about here all the time. How when you're supposed to be preserving, and then when you build back with less than what was originally there. So again, this kind of, I'm going to do more research on it, but it kind of leads me to believe to some sort of displacement.
It is displacement.
Because at the end of the day, that's why we are all here. And we all are saying the same thing. It doesn't matter what channel, what feed we go on. All of us know that we're trying to preserve Section 9 public housing the way it is as it speaks. Even for us to have these conversations or even to form these type of boards, we all know that all that falls under Section 9 because we're the Section 8 people, guys. They have no rights. They do not have the rights that we have as public housing residents. We all know, there's organizations out there saying that the blueprint is dead. It is far from being dead. Yeah. Okay? Right now, it's down the block from me, about to happen. And what they do, they go after places like Hamel Houses and those smaller developments where, they can do the Section 8 conversions, and the residents are so busy fighting each other that you can't pay attention to the real issues. And this is the point that I'm getting at. We need to stop looking at each other, put our pettiness to the side, put our grievances to the side. You understand? Except when you have people who totally disrespect you.
Right.
You can apologize to me 50,000 times, but if you keep repeating the same behavior for which you apologize for, you are not sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
And I will not acknowledge you at no point in time.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, guess what? You're going to get left at the stop, or maybe you might hop on the bus, or you might get on the train
Keep
that
doing
I'm
the
driving.
same thing, getting the same response.
But guess what? I am not going to give you my energy because you are a distraction.
Right.
We are no longer going to be distracted. We're going to stay on course. However we get there, that's how we're going to get there. But it's going to be for everyone. It's going to be for all of us. At the end of the day, no more distractions. Yes. Keep your eye on the prize.
Yes.
Okay? Like my Ronald always say, fish.
Step off fish because there ain't no water here.
That's a new one. I like that
one. You understand what I'm saying?
I like that.
Yes.
I like when you unite you guys. Come on, you'll have some catchy shit. Step off fish because there ain't no water here. Then Claudia shit, I say that shit all the time. I be like, ain't my circus, ain't my monkey, ain't my circus. I take that shit.
Circus, not my monkey.
Not my circus, not my monkey. I take that one too.
Yes.
You got catchy shit. Yeah, I'm doing that.
Absolutely. And one of the great things about being a leader, if you're not making decisions, then you're not making mistakes. If you're making mistakes, you're making decisions.
Right, because that's the only way you learn.
That's how you learn.
And Robin says shots fired, by the way.
I have a famous, but mine is in Spanish.
Okay.
I always say
Gente.
when I walk in, because I be like, yo soy averiguar, presentar y entrometida. So that means I'm nosy, I'm intrusive, and so that when I go into the office, they be like, you don't belong in the office. But yo soy averiguar, presentar y entrometida. I'm gonna be nosy. She knows that. I come back, I walk my dog 3 times a day. And I walk the development, and I've been living in my development all my life, so I know everybody. Everybody knows me. And y'all go ahead. I'm like, don't worry, I'm gonna tell the president. And how many times?
She sure enough
And how many times I walk by, I'm like, and night people be walking with their badge, and I'm like, and who are you? And what are you doing? And what that got to do with us?
Right.
Real quick,
You have to.
You have to
and
do that.
I want more residents like that because you
You
know
have
what?
to do
I
it.
don't know what the procedures are.
No.
Don't you understand from right here there is no procedure?
Oh, now I know.
There is no
If
procedure.
you see somebody walking around with a Nitro
Oh,
logo,
we got a star just walked in the house. Stop playing. I've been waiting to meet you. Yes. You better come over here. Come say hi.
We got Baba T in the house.
We got Baba T in the house.
Straight out of
Give me a
Australia.
hug.
Yeah, just watch the camera, Baba T. That's all.
I'm good.
Baba T's in the house. There you go.
Listen, nice to meet you. Listen, this is an up and coming star. Y'all, if y'all don't know, y'all better act like y'all know. You understand what I'm saying? We international right here. Yes,
that's my man, Baba
international.
T.
We got Gary Fax in the house.
I'm
You
gonna
better stop.
I'm gonna put Baba T on the screen
Yes.
right there. See, that's
Come on, yes.
that's the magazine that Baba T is on right now.
Okay.
Behind the scenes.
Straight out of Australia.
So straight out of Australia, you know what I'm saying? And,
That's around
I
the
love
world.
your accent.
Other side of the world.
and
He
he's
just came and disrupted me. I just seen him pick his head in. Your little young self. You better watch out.
oh shit, Cougar on the prowl. Wow. She like,
Listen, I
young
got eyes. I
boy.
can look. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
This ain't nothing wrong with
And
looking.
he's a looker too. You better stop playing.
So-
I know you get chased all the time. Look, Ronald got to put his shades on.
So those shit
You
cool.
gotta be incognito.
That's it. Ron like, I don't know parts of this. Hold on, I know your husband. Hold on.
I feel special. You know, I got my BGM family
Yeah.
in the house.
Yeah,
Stop
we all
playing.
here. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all going over to Violators Radio to go and do their show as Boardwalk Global Media. So we're going with Chris Ali and my man Daryl and Chris Ali. They're all part of what do you call it? The management that Red Alert had and Chris Lighty.
Okay.
That's
I love
that's
it.
Violators. Yeah. So we've been Baba T's been invited to do the show, and then in the process they're like, yo, Rock, you should come too. And so we're just gonna kind of make it a a Boardwalk Global Media thing.
You in town. Yo,
You know what I'm saying?
need to be at a night rally, like for real, for real.
Yeah,
like listen, it's international. We fight for public housing.
Yeah.
All across
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we talked about that too.
Definitely.
Because his mom does that.
His mom is deep into community activism.
Yeah, she's heavy. Yeah, she's heavy. Yeah, his mother's heavy. Yeah.
You want to talk about somebody?
Gabby, you're gonna have to come on the mic. You know we still live, right? Come on, Gabby. Come on, sweetness. You can
There
fit
you go.
over there, though.
All right, just say it right there.
Gabby,
Right there, yeah.
come on.
Just say it on this mic.
Sweetness over here.
I was just saying,
Yeah.
Baba T's mother, she's very passionate, right? So a lot of the issues over in Australia dealing with the Aboriginals people is like a lot of what we deal with here. So she is like 1,000,000% passionate. So she'll definitely be.
But you gotta dumb that down for us. What is Aborigines?
It's
I'm asking my boy over here.
Aboriginal is the black version.
Right.
It's the black people of Australia. The original
The
black
indigenous people.
Right.
Yeah.
The natives.
That's another way of saying it.
Yeah.
Original black people, y'all.
Yes.
Aborigines.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you
That's
notice,
your new word of the day.
Yeah.
Aborigines.
it's a wonderful thing because if you notice, we are all over the globe. If the world is round and some people are saying flat, they got it wrong because it's round. It comes back to where
That's
the original started at. We were the first people.
Mi
There it
gente.
is.
That's right.
Gente, my people.
And they're
right.
being treated unfairly over there too. I watch a lot of stories about how they have to fight for their rights, the injustice that they have to deal with over there, and it's really not. I didn't know there were black people in Australia until I saw that
There's
Oh,
document.
there you go. There you go.
Forgetting about Aboriginal as well.
Living, breathing proof.
Oh, so then I have to take a picture with you, sir. I'm gonna keep it. I met the first one in person.
There you go.
Listen, we gotta have him talk. I just want to hear you talk.
Yeah, you can do it right.
Like it's just your accent, man. You know we love accents. Say hi to the people.
Well, hey, how you doing? How's everyone going?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Proper Aussie accent.
Yes.
Born and raised.
All right.
Wow, nice. Yes.
That's it. We working today, boy. I'm telling you. Man,
Well,
I'm telling you.
Rhonda, we gonna get back to you.
Well, here's what I'm gonna
You
do.
my
I'm gonna let
fish
you.
that's
I'm gonna let you
swimming.
work because you working right now. I gotta bounce.
No, you don't.
Say
You better
yeah.
stop
I
playing.
gotta go do the radio show. But
ain't gotta bounce.
you're here, and just lock up.
Listen, you don't never leave. Me. You don't put baby in the corner.
Listen, baby. Gotta go to work. I gotta go hit the show.
Well, you know what? Because Rock is leaving, we gonna leave right with them. Because y'all, let me tell y'all something.
Yeah, we did an hour
Look,
20.
I gotta pose.
Yes. Wait. Well, we gotta do over one more.
Hold on.
We gotta pose right now. I know this is very disrespectful, but we gonna say we out.
We out.
We definitely out.
See ya.
Tune in next week. Happy Easter Sunday, y'all.
Happy Easter.
I'm about to end it out with the Aborigines right now. The baby gonna do a dance.
Oh, it's so cool.
Wow, this is great.
This is
You
good.
see this on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I commit this crime.
This guy was the shoe bomber from 2001. He was sweating so much in his shoe that the perspiration wouldn't allow him to light the
come the fuck
fuse
back here,
on
help me
the
with my
airplane.
fucking bags.
So the passengers, you know what they did? They fucked up.
Hey, I'm gonna get my shit. Whoa. Oh, shit. Oh, what the fuck? This shit don't fucking fit. God damn. Can't commit a good crime today. Hey, bitch. I'm Frank James, bitch. Open the door. Yeah, open the fucking door. I need motherfucking help. Oh, I'm up here in my fed. Oh, you ain't gonna get me on that technicality. Nope, you're not gonna get me on that. But what I will do is, day after tomorrow, I'll go to